with some more of your comments, and this particular one is not an old moany whiny one like the ticket video earlier. It's about Lanzini. I did the Lanzini video the other day, and it's your comments following that. What was I talking? If you didn't see the video, why was I talking about Lanzini? Well, the former River Plate president had said that River Plate had been in talks with Lanzini about him returning there, basically. We know it's always been a dream of his to go back home. I don't begrudge him that. I hope he stays for a lot longer. I think he's been a good servant to the club as well. He's never kicked up any stink, really. And he's always said from day one he'd like to finish his career back at home with his family. When people say things like that, I think it's hard to really sort of deny them that, isn't it? Anyway, so these are your comments, some of the comments that have been left on the video. We'll start off with Bobby66. Said, morning Gonzo, Lanzini has had a good season. It makes a big difference when available. Basically, Lanzini does make a difference. Another season for him would be great. I think we will get at least another season from him. But then it's whether he is then happy for us. So it's not just about us exercising any option we got him. The player has to be happy with that as well. And I think when it's a foreign player, if you've got to have a player who's given this length of service, he turns around and says, actually, I just really want to go home. It's, I think you're being it's a bit harsh if someone's been here sort of 9 years or whatever it had been. If you then turn around and say, no, sorry, mate, you're not going home. When technically he's probably out of contract anyway. Actually, funny enough, this is Dom. He said, I think Lanzini is contracted until the summer, but we have a 2-year option on him. If he continues playing as he has done for the past few months, I'd definitely trigger that extension. He's only 29. Extension would take him 32. Seems a good age to go and play a couple of seasons before retiring. Actually, there's a lot of sense in that. There's a lot of sense in that. Lanzini, because of the way he plays at 32, is still going to be a hell of a player. Yeah, so yeah, I've changed my mind. Let's keep him on. Say, come on, Manuel, stay with West Ham. Sam K said, I always assumed Lanzini would end his career at River Plate. Me too. That was my theory why Moyes brought in Vlasic. See, it's funny that he goes on to say, I thought Vlasic was seen as Lanzini's long-term replacement to compete with Fornals, the attacking midfield role. For some reason, Moyes keeps playing Vlasic on the left. Look, I'll tell you what, Sam, I agree with you. I always expected Lanzini to go back to River Plate as well. For Vlasic to be his replacement, I never saw that. I thought Vlasic was Lingard's replacement. That's honestly what I thought when we made the signing. I almost didn't even think that Lanzini would have a replacement because he just featured so seldomly. If you remember last season, we had a bit of a crisis at one point in midfield. He came in, he played central midfield. I think it was against Burnley. Got injured, and then that was it. He played very well, but I didn't think it was almost. He was so underused. I didn't think there was any need for him in the squad, sort of thing. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think he's now that important. We would need to replace Lanzini. Happy Hammerat says, no, can't lose them both at the same time. Obviously, she's talking about Areola and Lanzini there. Spiderfingers 2005, probably not got Spiderfingers anymore, says Lanzini has given us around 7 or 8 years at this point. A loyal servant indeed. I really hope he stays, but you just never know. If he leaves, good luck to him. I hope he has a good career back in his home country. As a West Ham fan, no, I think he'll be very important to us next season. I hope that he stays. Look, I mean, there's a lot of love for Lanzini. There really is. And this is what I mean. When you get players that clearly are dedicated to the club, that clearly put in a shift, that don't kick off, then, you have nothing but sort of warm feelings towards them when their career starts to get towards the end and they want to go and do something else. If someone mucks around and someone's constantly flashing their knickers at every other team and making indications they're not happy, then, you don't have much sympathy for them. But, there's a lot of love for Lanzini. And Harry Parker just turns around and says, I don't want Lanzini to leave. No, I don't. I think he'd be a hard player to replace. A hard player to replace on the cheap, actually, because he's one of those we falls between the margins as much as he doesn't kick off when he's a squad player, but he's good enough to be in the first team. And when he plays in the first team, he's totally capable of getting man of the match. And I think those players are quite hard to come by. So to get a player that was capable of being a man of the match in the first team, you have to pay a lot of money, unless something weird comes up like the Eriksen situation. But let's be fair, that's a very unique situation. Or maybe Coutinho. But you're not going to get Coutinho for any length of time. Aston Villa have only got him on a bit of a loan. I imagine if they want him permanently, they're going to have to spend a bit of money. You would imagine Barcelona are going to want to see a little bit of their £150 million back. But to actually buy a bona fide attacking midfielder, to go and buy, it's a bad example, but to go and buy James Maddison or someone like that, it costs you a lot of money. I don't want him to leave either. And you know what? We know he's settled. We really do. Lots of talk. Obviously, remember I spoke about Areola quite a lot. It's probably worth saying at this point that that was in the same video about the Lanzini video. There's a lot of you want Areola to stay. I mean, a lot of you do. I think he's made an impression on the fans. I think it's fair to say. In fact, Robert Singleton said I would buy Areola and Pope, sell Randolph, I think it means, and keep Fabianski. Then we'd be set for when Fabianski retires next year. Steve 50, hello Steve. He says one more season from Lanzini, and I hope Yarma and Frederiksberg need upgrading. Yeah, I mean I would certainly agree that both of those will be off-ski. Ben Arnold says 10 million for Areola is a no-brainer. He may be priced at 30 million at the end of another loan season. I don't think he would, Ben. He's not the right age group. I really don't. I think when you're a club like Paris Saint-Germain, I know they've got unlimited money, but they still have to abide by financial fair play. I think, you can see they want him off the wages. I think by putting a 30 million price tag on him, there's one thing that would achieve, and that would be that he would be back at Paris Saint-Germain and nobody would buy him. And I think if you did that, then they've then got a player that's another £100,000 a week on their wages, which they don't want and they don't need really. But anyway, sorry, Ben does say I'd say get Areola in and Johnson on a free. Would they both sign? Then you get Johnson. You got to say, Johnson wants that England place. I would say normally, Johnson, you ain't getting that England place. I know some of you don't rate him as a keeper, but forget that for a second. Even if you did, you felt like Pickford is the immovable object. We've been linked to Pickford, by the way. But Pickford can't keep playing in a team like Everton, the way they're playing, the way they're defending, and expect to be first choice for England. No questions asked. There's a place up for grabs there, but it'd be interesting to see there. I mean, as Robert Bryant says, follow Man City and Liverpool. They picked keepers that are good with the ball at the distribution. If Pope isn't great with his feet, there may be a problem. Yeah, look, I would agree with that. I am not sure whether David Moyes agrees, though. Because I can't think of any reason sometimes if Fabianski's had a bad game. But Fabianski hasn't had a bad season, by the way. I think this has been his third best season since he's been at West Ham. The first one, he was outstanding. But I think he's been okay, I really do. But there's times he hasn't played well, and I've looked at it and thought, well, we're a counter-attacking team. You need to be given the ball quickly. I didn't understand why Moyes doesn't see that, and as a result, put Areola in the team, who's better at springing that counter-attack. It's what we need. All I can do is, I'm not arrogant enough to think that I've noticed something David Moyes doesn't, so I can only assume that he has noticed it, and therefore he doesn't find it that important. It's not a big deal for David Moyes' distribution of a goalkeeper. If that's the case, and it is just me guessing, maybe Pope is absolutely fine for him. What do we got? Keith Fenn says, I don't think Lanzini will be sold. The club have apparently said to him, if he sees out his contract, he can rejoin River Plate on a free with their blessing. Well, that makes absolute sense. I don't think we'd try and sell him either. I don't know why the article was suggesting that. Don't agree at all with that one. Tony Pezzalesi says Lingard or Lanzini. One drives at defences and scores goals, and one hasn't for a long time. I'll take both of those. It's funny, isn't it? When people give you these choices. I think you have both. I think you try and buy Lingard and you have Lanzini. I also, I take it, Tony, by what you're saying, one drives defence and scores goals, the other one hasn't for a long time, I take it you're suggesting Lingard does that and Lanzini doesn't. I think Lanzini's role has changed somewhat. I think Lanzini dictates the tempo of the game. I don't think Lanzini is in the team because he, scores goals. I think he dictates the tempo of the play. I think he gets the team playing. I think he plays 1-2. I think he encourages a lot of players to play. So, anyway, yes, I'm not doing that. If someone put a gun to your head, which one would you choose? Who's going to put a gun to my head and say, Lanzini or Lingard? No one. I'll have both, please, Tony. And to be fair, one of them we've already got and the other one's free. It's not like saying, I'll have Haaland and Mbappe, please. Looks like Haaland's going to City, did you see? What else have we got? Oh, somebody is... somebody's... Cheddars has written in Spanish. I'll have to do that. It may be a little bit fragmented if I try and go through all of that. If I try and go through all that now. Lots of stuff about the ticketing. Somebody did say, sorry, Paul Kramer. I got to address this now. Paul Kramer said, get yourself an iron, Gonzo. Now, what he's referring to is as of late, I've been appearing on the videos with creased t-shirts. I do know. I do apologise. Sort of. I knew people had noticed. I was hoping nobody would care. I think Paul's he's done a little winky face. He's only having a laugh. But the truth of the matter is, the ironing board is a bit of a monster to set up, right? It's not easy to set up. And the iron, when you put it on steam, like, I don't know, some crap starts coming out of it. So it's starting to ruin stuff. I probably need a new iron. I've looked at the price of an iron, like a proper steam iron. Have you seen the price of an iron? I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever bought an iron before in my life, right? So there was always someone else to buy an iron for me. I thought an iron was about 15 quid, like for a good one, do you know what I mean? It's 100 odd quid or something. I thought, you what? So, £100 on an iron, creased, not this one, I've ironed. Actually, I tell a lie. This, some of them come out the old washing machine and they're not creased. This is one of them. So this is why this is on. I thought, oh crikey, I've been called out. I've been rumbled. And that's a message from Alistair Campbell, who says about Ivan Toney's £50 million price tag. I dealt with that in the video earlier on. What are we doing there? Sorry, I had to glance around there as my battery light's flashing. I better go. That's giving me a hint, saying, right, that's it, you've done your lot. 2 videos in a day. You've ended up, I've tried to sell you a shaver in the other one. And then now I'm talking about an iron. Maybe, do you know what? That's what I need. I need an iron company to sponsor the channel. And then I'll do a little iron advert. Everyone's a winner. They get a little bit of publicity. You get a discount on an iron. And then with any luck, I get a free iron.